Good evening, everyone. My name is Hiranthi Karunatilaka. I'm from Saubhagya Foundation. We are the ones who are hosting this whole program today. Actually, this is all about women in leadership branding. We have because I knew Poonam in 2016. From the day one, I saw what I all wanted was to bring her back to Sri Lanka and let her know to teach our Sri Lankan ladies about leadership in women, which is very important. So our Poonam Baru Mrs. Poonam Baru, she had accepted our invitation and she have come. Actually, just to brief you, she has a wealth of knowledge about leadership, and she is the CEO founder Forum India. And she is the author for Leadership by Proxy. She is going to talk so much about, I'm not going to talk much, she'll talk about leadership. She's my mentor. Today, she had helped me within the couple of periods that I got to know her. She's like, every day I'm improving and I am learning something from her. So I'm going to hand over, and there'll be a 15 minutes break. The program will stop like around after 30 minutes, and we will be opening for your question and answers. Poonam, welcome, Poonam. You can take it from here.
Thank you. Namaste, everybody.
Namaste.
It is such a great opportunity every time I get to speak to women, especially women who are in business. And that is going to be our topic for today, branding women for business. I want to begin by saying that Hiranthi and Dulari are like soul sisters to me. I think our karma paths will cross, and when they cross, then we do work together. It has been many years since I met Hiranthi. I've been to Colombo many times, and I really have to say that I am so impressed by the women in Sri Lanka. I have traveled hugely in Sri Lanka. The women are hardworking. They are very dedicated. They also have skills. But what they don't have, I think, is somebody to tell them how to do business in a way where you can be right at the top. And I think that that's why it's really important for me today that we are doing this session. I'm going to keep it short and to the point. I've written books, I've written research reports. I personally have 1,000 mentees, not 100, not 200, 1,000 mentees. But this particular topic, I'm not going to go very far. I'm going to stick with branding for women in business. So thank you all for joining us. Now, the most important point I will make right in the beginning is, have you noticed that we are not calling this branding for women entrepreneurs? We are not calling it entrepreneurs. I have a problem with the word entrepreneurs. I am an economist. So I know who invented the word entrepreneur, why was it invented, what does it exactly mean? And I think that, everybody uses the word entrepreneur very loosely. And we have to be very careful when we are branding, that we don't use words loosely. Whenever you say something, you have to mean it and you have to understand what you're saying. Now, I don't want to be called an entrepreneur, although I own 2 private limited companies. I don't want to be called an entrepreneur first. I want to be called an entrepreneur also. The minute they say, particularly for women, the minute they say entrepreneur, you already put into a bracket. I think we have some disturbance. Will you ask them to mute themselves? The minute we say entrepreneurs, and especially when we are women, we will find that you're already put in a bucket. The perception is she's somebody who needs support. She's somebody who needs a lot of help. She's somebody who's some kind of a victim. She's somebody who can't do it on her own. That message I don't want to convey. That box I don't want to be in. It's a problem. We don't want that box, but that is the box that entrepreneurs are put into, women entrepreneurs. So the first point I'm trying to make is that please call yourself women in business. Okay, you could be working for a company, you could be an executive of a company, or you could be an owner, but you are a woman in business. That will send a message by itself. The second thing is that if you are in business, then the most important thing for you, not for somebody else, is who are you? Who are you? Do you know who you are? Only when you know who you are, will you be able to tell everybody else who you are. Okay, so who am I? You need to answer that question for yourself. Who am I? Am I the CEO of this company? Am I the chairman of this company? Am I the board director of this company? Am I the owner of this company? And that will be on your visiting card. You will not write woman entrepreneur. You will not go to meetings that say woman entrepreneurs. You will go to meetings where CEOs get together, men and women, and you will give your card and you will say, I am the CEO of this company. That's how you do branding. Now, CEO doesn't mean it has to be a private limited company or any particular kind of company. CEO simply means Chief Executive Officer. You're not saying I'm the managing director. The managing director is a private limited company, but CEO is the Chief Executive Officer, and it's a term that can be used without any problem. And so when there is a meeting of CEOs, the first thing, the branding, is that they will look at you as a CEO. So please change your visiting cards or your profiles on LinkedIn or on social media, and be sure that you write exactly who am I. But in order to say that, first, you need to know who you are. What is your power of self? It's not a question of what is your designation. What is your power of self you need to know. The third thing is that when you do find out who you are, what is the message you're going to give everybody? That's the third part of branding. I'm the CEO. Okay, I get it. But what is your message? My message is, I am going to be the best producer of tie and dye fabrics. Or I'm going to be the best startup in healthcare. Or I am going to be the best person in women in leadership. All right. What is the message of the CEO? You're the CEO with a message. You can't be a CEO without a message. CEOs without a message are called non-transparent. And we don't want you to be a non-transparent CEO. So be very clear that when you are a CEO, now just remember one thing in branding. Perception is reality. What everybody perceives is what it's going to be. All right. Therefore, your messaging has to be accurate. You might think, you're a great talker and a great speaker, but everybody might think she doesn't know how to speak. So perception, and then when you start speaking, everybody thinks, oh, she's a great speaker, but you let the wrong perception come across. All right. So be very sure that perception is reality. For example, there is somebody on this web session who has a smiley for an image. Okay, I won't take the name, but the message that you're giving is not the right message for a woman in business. Everybody will perceive you as the smiley. Nobody will take you seriously to do business with. Every single message you are giving is important. And before I came onto this, I had a 4:30 meeting. Important what people are perceiving about you. I see so many of you right now who are just putting on their videos, but are not even there. How can you do business like that? What is the message you're giving me? I'm not ready for business. I don't really know anything about business. I'm just here to pass my time. You may as well log out. You may as well log out. I'm not ready for business. You may as well log out. So if you're not giving the right message, don't put on your videos. It's not required. But when you put on your videos, please be sure that your messaging is exactly what you want it to be, that I am a serious person in business, man or woman, and you can do business with me. And the last point that I'm going to make is that you need to be very sure about who are you influencing. Okay, so when you say I'm branding, branding for a community is different, branding at home is different, branding at the office is different. Who are you branding for? Who is your stakeholder? Today, my stakeholders are all of you women. Am I going to change my brand? No, my brand is the same, whether I'm talking to you or I'm talking to Mr. Ratan Tata or I'm talking to, I don't know, Bill Gates, I will be exactly the same because I don't switch my brand on and off. My brand is exactly the same. This is what you see is what you get. I'm always going to be presenting myself like this. And it has nothing to do with my clothes. I am always going to be prepared. I will always do my homework. I will always be ready for what I have to do. I will always come to you with a serious intent. That's my branding. Okay, so branding is a very serious business and you need to know who are you trying to influence. Your client, your customer, you want them to buy. Okay, do they want to buy from somebody who's got the picture of some image that they don't want to see? You have to be very careful these days. People look at images and they just decide on Instagram whether they like you or they don't like you. So if you are somebody who likes, to save animals, put a nice picture of save animals. There will be many people who like to save animals who might want to come to you. Branding is everything. So these are the key points that I want to make to you regarding branding. And now I'm going to put up a PowerPoint so that you can take that PowerPoint later on home and remember what I tried to say. Thank you. Hiranti, would you put up the PowerPoint, please? Thank you. All right. So this is our wonderful club of 3 women who are going to change the dynamics for the women in Sri Lanka. Dulari, myself, and Hiranti. And, I am just so blessed that I met them in 2015 in Sri Lanka. Those days I did not even have an iPhone. I had a BlackBerry because those days iPhone, I think, had not come or I had not bought one. And somewhere, somehow, there was a tea meeting in a little hotel. They hosted a tea for me because I'd just given a talk on women board directors. And Hiranti asked me for my telephone number and I gave it to her. And, after many years, she dialed my number and sure enough, I said, hello. And she sent me the picture that we had taken together. And, it is a real blessing that we are now able to come together to support the women of Sri Lanka. Next one. So I want to tell you just a little bit about the Will Forum, not very long because you can always go to LinkedIn and see, but we were not always like this. I'm the founder of the Will Forum. And when I started the Will Forum in 2007, that is 14 years ago, and I went to all the corporate sector, KPMG, Infosys, Tata's, and everybody would say to me, but there is no appetite for women in leadership. I don't think anybody's going to buy this. And I said, yes, I know. I know there is no appetite, but my job, and that's my branding, my job is to create an appetite for what I think is right. That's my branding. If I think that's the right thing to do, I will get up and I will create a brand for it. Okay, so in 2007, everybody told me I was wasting my time, that I would never be able to make any money. They didn't even know what is a social enterprise. They didn't even know what is a social impact leader. Nothing. They just know how to do HR, how to do talent, how to do leadership, nothing. They know nothing about women. And women, they thought is like some CSR bucket. But now in 2021, 14 years down the line, we have got more than 6,000 men and women from more than 250 companies. We have 14 research reports that I have written. I've written a book, Leadership by Proxy, and we have 1,000 mentees. Now, I'm just trying to tell you, and we are global influencers on women, which means that women in leadership, which means that we drive the agenda. We don't sit back and follow what some CEO is saying or some, Kamala Harris is saying. We lead the agenda, all right? So this is what you all can do. All of you can be determined. All of you can have conviction in what you're doing. and then your business will succeed. It may take you 5 years, it may take you 10 years. You'll have to build a brand for what you want to sell. Next one. So today, this is just a brief one, the Will Forum in 2021. We are now pretty much online since the COVID issue. We are doing web mentoring, web conferencing, web research. Next one, please. So this is my first part of the branding. You have got to have conviction. If you do not believe what you are doing, you cannot sell it to anybody else. All right. You got to know whether it's a small business you're doing or a large one, you're the best. There's nobody better in this business. And if you're not the best, then you get up and make yourself the best. All right. Because that's the only way you can sell to anybody is if you're the best. So be sure that you have conviction. Be sure that you have confidence, and be sure that you have courage. These are your 3 most important words to understand branding for yourself. All right. Next one. The second part, as I said to you, please get comfortable with who am I? Who am I? What is your power so that you are able to influence others regarding your business or your mission? Like I'm saying, I'm a missionary, women in business. Okay, so I need to then find out what exactly is my bandwidth. I'm an economist, I'm a CEO of my company, I'm the founder of the Will Forum, I'm a book author, I've been a lecturer, I'm an entrepreneur myself because I own my company. I'm a board director. I'm a LinkedIn top voice. There is no end to understanding who you are. You have to dig very deep and take out all the best things in you. And if you don't have them, find them. You will find them. I am 100% sure that you will find them. All right? Just go find them. Who am I? Next one. Now, these are my 10 great learnings for branding for all of you. If you have a pen and a pencil, you can start writing it down. The first one is unleash the power of self. Until you yourself are powerful, powerful doesn't mean you're going to have authority over other people. What is the meaning of power? Power means I've got so much energy that you're feeling my energy. Even online, you're feeling my energy. I'm not even present, but you're feeling my energy. That is called power, all right? And you have to unleash your power. All of you have it. It's just that some of you unleash it, some of you don't. You must have no barriers. You have to drop every single barrier in your mind, and you have to have only an open mind. If Hiranti tells me you want to do something in Sri Lanka, okay. Somebody tells me you want to do something in Paris, okay. Somebody tells me you want to talk to energy sector, okay. No problem. I have a completely open mind, but there are some places I will not speak. That I know. And that's not because I don't have an open mind, it's because I don't want to indulge in a conversation that is not going to lift the women up. I don't talk on seminars like that, where everybody's only talking about networking. It's not going to lift the women. Networking alone cannot be a conference. You cannot lift networking alone, right? Next, you all have to be knowledgeable. I'm sure you are all very successful, so you're very knowledgeable, but there is no end to knowledge. You can keep on and on and on increasing your knowledge, and there is no end to how much knowledge you can get. That is the difference between good and great. And this is the most important one for me. Please demonstrate your executive presence. Okay. So whenever you see me, I will always be like that. I'm not going to be, you'll always see me looking like a professional executive. Otherwise, I'm not coming online or I'm not meeting you, because that's the way executive presence is. It's called branding. It's got nothing to do with my clothes, or it's got to do with my presence. Create a rich network. I hope that the Will Forum will be a rich network for all of you. I want to invite, which is why I created the Will Forum. I want to invite all of you to become members of the Will Forum via Subhagya Foundation. Try to, immerse yourself, or there are many other networks you can join, but don't join networks just to network. You have to network with a purpose. And that's the next one. Get strategic. It's very important that when you network, you got to have a purpose. Just networking for the sake of networking is called socializing. You can go to a party and socialize. Why do you want to do business and socialize? Business and socializing should never mix, in my point of view, especially as a woman. I never mix business and socializing. I mix networking with a purpose, with a strategy. I'm meeting XYZ because we have both figured out what is the agenda. If there is no agenda, I don't go for a meeting. I just don't. Next one. All right, embrace new cultures. This is very, very important, especially in these days of online. You have to be able to embrace new cultures. Don't always feel that what I know is best. And that is why I think the entire, leadership today is like a dinosaur that just takes so long to even move 1 foot forward. And it'll be those agile companies that are going to move very fast. And that's the next one. Those who are agile, those are flexible, those who are adaptable, those who have empathy. Those are the companies that are going to do well. And as women in business, you need to be agile, flexible, adaptable, empathetic. Just get it. I don't believe that, if you get engaged with a common good or a common cause, it's not nice. It's always, always good. People will remember you always for giving back to community and for paying it forward. And there is always time for compassion. Now, I have not included the 11th thing, which is called Let's Talk to the Men. In the Will Forum, it is extremely important for me for branding to talk to the men. There is no point in just branding yourself over and over again with the male. You have to talk to the men, and you have to brand yourself with them because they're also half the population. Next one. So I'm going to give you only 2-3 slides on your personal branding, which we will pick up when we do our 4-part series. I have promised Saubhagya Foundation that I will be doing a 4-part series with them on executive branding. And I will show you the kind of things we will discuss. We will discuss things like how perception is reality, how you build your reputation, how your body language is so important. I see so many of you who are just lying back on your, on your videos. I mean, nobody's going to do business with you. You've got to have the right posture and body language when you come online, your appearance, your communication. Next one. And, executive presence we will be discussing is intentional, that 80% of it is what you will be doing. It is mental, you have to attend to it, and it is a complete requirement for business success. Next one. We will also be discussing in our 4-part series. Can we have the next slide? We will be discussing how do you do body language and posture. What is good posture in meetings? How do you show confidence? How do you demonstrate that you are ready? How do you get engaged in conversations? What should your facial expressions be like? How do you walk with a purpose instead of just walking aimlessly as if you're going for tea? Next one. Not that I don't like tea. I'm very fond of tea. And attending networking events. And like I said, don't go to networking events which are all women. I really don't see, unless you're going to do a social party, I really don't see how you work with strategic partners. Next one. And, in the 4th part of the branding series, we're going to talk about the power of self. You have to figure out how to align your mind, body, and spirit. And that's one thing that I have in common with Hiranti. I don't think I'm spiritual, but I actually believe that if you do not align your body, mind, and your spirit together, the mind will be going in one direction, body will go in another direction, and the spirit will keep calling them all back because they have to hang on to the spirit, which is your soul, which is you. So, the body and the mind are only tools, and we need to recognize that part of our tools, and we have to bring the tools back to our spirit. And we have to understand that only when these are aligned together, you don't hear any noise. You don't worry about work-life balance. You don't worry about time because you are in control of your time. You are in control of your space. You are in control. You're in control because of one thing. You know how to make a choice. Only those who don't know how to make choices and who do not know how to prioritize their choices have to worry about time. Anyone who knows how to make a choice will not worry about time. You make a choice in the day, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's what I'm going to do. Okay, then your time is valuable. But if you don't make any choices and all the time you're wondering about doing one thing or the other, or should I not, of course your time is going to be wasted. So this is called mindfulness, all right? And I think mindfulness is a very important, powerful tool, and we need to talk about mindfulness in one of our branding sessions. And my last slide, of course, is to show you, how you can make executive presence in a conference. You can see the board behind me are all men. The conference in front of me are all men. And yet I'm trying to make my presence felt with great conviction, accomplishment. See what the words I'm using: accomplishment, distinction, stature, style, and I have to show it to show my executive presence. I can't just come and start speaking and expect everybody to listen to me. They'll all go for a coffee break. But if I show my distinction and my stature, I will be able to hold them all. They're not going to leave until I finish speaking. That I know. So this is my brief PowerPoint to you. I would like to now hand this over to Dulari. Dulari, would you like to ask for some questions or get involved with our questions first? Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Poonam. Thank you very much for that elaborative session on branding for women. And I think it was very much important for all of us, because here in Sri Lanka, this is this is the first international conference that we are having on virtual platform, digital platform with Saubhagya. So thank you very much for that session. And I would like to ask if there are any questions from the participants. You can unmute yourself and ask some questions.
I have the first question, Poonam. I'm going to ask you, because so many things running in my mind. And you were saying that when it comes for, you don't need to have the network to do business. But in our community, we feel that we need to have network, your personal relationship with which takes a long way for your business.
Correct.
So can you explain?
Correct. You use the right word, but you don't know that you're using the right word. The right word is personal relationship. It's not network, okay? I left a pot of gold with you, Hiranti, when I met you in Colombo. That is called a personal relationship. I left a pot of gold with you, which is called goodwill, okay? And I'm probably going to leave a pot of gold with all the women on the session today. So networking is quite different from building relationships, and we must not confuse the two. Networking simply means just working your network. And I am saying what will be valuable in the long run, especially for women, is making good personal relationships. Invest in them. Invest with the men, with the women, with your colleagues, with your communities, with your grocery, with your banker. Please make personal relationships, but that's not networking.
Right, thanks.
Anyone else who would like to ask a question? Any doubts about the presentations which you want to get more elaborations on the session?
So is there a chat box here? Okay, the chat box.
I have asked, and I have got a couple of questions. I think I would like to throw it to you.
Otherwise, I will go ahead and ask my own questions. You know, I've seen.
I know. So, Poonam, there was a question that the question was, what should a woman do to stand up from the peers?
From the peers?
Yes.
Very good question. The most important thing that you need to do to stand up from your peers, first and foremost, is be visible, okay? And I'm repeating it, be visible. Because I remember that I won't take the name of this large Indian corporate house where I went maybe 15 years ago, and I said to the chairman, I said, how come you don't have any women on your board? Well, the chairman said, I don't see any women. I see you all the time. Okay, the chairman sees me all the time. I don't even work in that company simply because I am visible. So how to stand up above your peers is first and foremost be visible. Now, when you're going to be visible, the question is, what should you be visible about? You cannot just say, I'm going to be visible, so I'm going to put my picture here and I'm going to put a billboard there. Visible means I must know what is my message. I must be able to convey my message. I must have a brand. So I make myself visible. Every time I speak about my business, or I speak about the things we have done, or I speak about my passions, but I make sure that I am visible, okay? And people are listening to me. Not that if they say, so what did Tin Lu Ben say? And they'll say, oh, I don't even remember. I don't think she even spoke. You see what I'm saying? People need to know if they say, what was Poonam saying? They say, oh, she speaks all the time. I don't even know what she said. I don't mind if they say that, all right? But you gotta be visible. Now, the second thing about standing above your peers is a word that I use, which is called accomplishment, all right? In other words, you have to show that you're better than the rest by doing something better than the rest. For example, now there's so many women who are doing women in leadership. How can I be better than them? I'll write a book. There's nobody else who's written a book. I'll write a book on leadership. If you Google, you will not find more than 3 or 4 women who've written a book on leadership. They'll write a book on everything, but they won't write on leadership. So I can be better than my peers because every time they'll say, is there any woman who's written a book? Oh, she's written a book. Okay, let's call her. So you have to do something that none of your peers have done before. It's called pioneer. You have to be a pioneer in business. I'm using the word pioneer. So first is visible. The second thing is be a pioneer. Do something different in your business that nobody has done before. They will then keep you above the peers. And finally, I actually believe that empathy and compassion takes you above your peers. You know, a lot of people just do business, but they don't do compassion and empathy. Yeah. So if they don't remember you for your work, if they don't remember you for your work and they don't remember you for your accomplishment, at least they will remember you for your empathy. At least they will remember you for your compassion. At least they will remember you for the good that you have done. All right, so if you cannot do 1 and 2, at least do 3 to be above your peers. Be compassionate.
What's the next question, Dulari?
Yes, I think I just lost the signal.
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Poonam. Thank you very much for that answer. And there is another question. Actually, you have spoken about the networking, but still there is another question on networking for women, because most of what she says is most of the women find it difficult to find time for networking, to have a networking environment. Like, as you said, socializing and networking is 2 different things. But yet, when it comes to business, we need networking, proper networking. But the problem is women doesn't have much time, unlike men.
So let me
just
say,
given a tip
so
how to handle this.
Now let us talk about the digital, because we're in a digital world. You know what is LinkedIn? All of you, are you all on LinkedIn? Yes or no? Are most people on LinkedIn? Okay. Now, you know how difficult it is to become LinkedIn top 20? Do you know how difficult it is to become LinkedIn top 20? Okay, but I'm LinkedIn top 20, okay? Mean top 20 voices, which means people are listening to me. How did I become LinkedIn top 20 voices, okay, in India? How? There's so many, you know, great people out there doing great things, because early in the morning when I get up, it does not take any time to say hello to 10 different people. Minimum 10, minimum. Hello, Hiranti, how are you? Hello, Dulari, what are you doing today? Or I will go to my WhatsApp group in the thing and I will say, did you see yesterday that photograph that I think was not very good for the women? 10 WhatsApp messages does not take any time, all right? You say good morning, not good morning, hello, greetings, what are you going to do today? What is the topic today that you're going to discuss? Is there any particular thing that you want me to support you with? You know, or what a beautiful rainy, is it raining in Chennai today? Oh, it seems to be raining in Delhi today. Sending 10 WhatsApp messages at 7 o'clock in the morning takes 15 minutes of your time. Okay, don't tell me you don't have time. Next, do 10 every day, every single day without fail. Now, if for 2 weeks you do 10 messages, the 3rd week you please go to your LinkedIn or your Facebook and post 10 messages. It does not take time. You can just put a picture of nature at the back and say, oh, lovely nature today. Or you can put a picture of Subhagya Foundation and say, wonderful work done by Subhagya Foundation. Or you can say, oh, you can put my picture and say, we heard a fantastic mentoring from Poonam yesterday, Poonam Barua yesterday, or you can put a photo of my book. You just do 10 posts every day and it does not take time. All right. Pooja Tandon. Pooja, I'm so delighted to see you. This is so cool. Excuse me for a moment.
Time which I get, 7 a.m. in the morning.
I have to say hello to Pooja Tandon because she's my will mentee from Tata Consultancy Services from 10 years ago. And she's based out of Canada. My dear, oh, there you are, Pooja Tandon. Namaste. So cool to see you. So nice that you've logged in. So you see how networking works. I mean, when they say I don't have the time, how come Pooja Tandon logged in? How come she's in Canada? It's, probably really early in the morning, but she's logged in because she's a will mentee, because we have driven it into her that get up and network. All right. And, you may not like what you hear all the time, but I'm so glad that she's supporting the women of Sri Lanka. And I'm so sure that they're going to keep coming back, the Sri Lankan women, with we don't have time for networking. And I'm going to take it in this year and I'm going to take it out of this year, right? Because you do not need time for networking. 10 WhatsApp messages to your colleagues, your friends, men, women, not to your family, all right? Colleagues. This is a business discussion. 10, next day you can alternate 10 social medias. And if you don't have time to write, please put an image. You see how much social media I do. That's it. That's called networking. What else is networking? How much time did it take? Max 20 minutes. And before I go to sleep, I make sure that I also do networking at night. Before I go to bed, so early in the morning and at night, I don't pretty much do networking during the daytime because I'm doing my work. But before I go to bed, I make sure that if there is somebody who is in my will WhatsApp group, say somebody like Preeti Chitkara or somebody who I don't even know, but she's always writing, I will write, hello, Preeti. She's, maybe with BlackRock. Hello, how are you doing in BlackRock? Very nice to see you. Why should I bother? But I do. I'm a networker. And not because I want to network with Preeti. I am doing this because I actually care about Preeti. I actually care about the fact that she's writing. Networking is not about time. Networking is about caring. If you care for your children, you will find time for them. If you care about your parents, you'll find time for them. If you don't care about somebody, you will not find time for them. It's really quite simple.
I think there's another question from Tilini. Dulari, can you read out?
Yeah, can you see the question, Hiranti? I just missed the question. If you can please read
how
it.
to overcome the pressure generated from more than 3 business leadership roles involved. Is it clear, the question?
Yeah, that means somebody's in 3 business leadership roles?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, she is. Yes, she is.
Why are they doing that?
Tilini, are you there? You can speak, Dr. Tilini. She is Ayurvedic doctor.
Pooja, isn't that funny that somebody's in 3 different business roles? Let's hear them.
That means you're not doing justice to anything.
Yeah.
I think one of the things Poonam taught us that we women do multitasking. If you're doing multitasking, you're not efficient or effective.
I want to applause Pooja, because the first thing I tell all our mentees is stop multitasking right now. Stop it. You're not supposed to. God did not ask you to do multitasking. God asked you to do what Pooja has written. Set targets, define your purpose. No need to do any multitasking. But let's hear from this lady, please. Go ahead.
Hi, Poonam. Hi. First of all, I want to thank Saubhagya Foundation for organizing such a wonderful talk today. I'm really enjoying this. It's I am actually currently involved in 3-4 businesses. So, and I'm working from 2 a.m. in the morning. So it's quite manageable. My work is quite manageable. But sometimes, with kids and with all the other work that I'm involved with, the pressure generated from 3 to 4 business roles or the leadership roles, sometimes it's too much to handle. So in such conditions, such contents, what do you think? How do you think women should handle that pressure?
This has nothing to do with women. It's got to do with you. Just remember, why did you come on this planet? Did you really, really come to stay awake at 2 a.m.? Didn't somebody tell you you rise when the sun rises and you sleep when the sun sets? Didn't somebody tell you to feed your body and your mind? Didn't somebody tell you to do workout? Didn't somebody tell you that your body is your temple? Didn't somebody tell you that if you're not there, nothing else matters? Tomorrow it's all going to be gone. You're from a country where Buddhism is the most revered religion. And the only thing I'm telling you is what the Buddha says. I'm not saying these are the Buddha's sayings, all right? And whether you go to the Buddha or you go to the Bhagavad Gita or you go to Einstein, even Albert Einstein will say the same thing. You know, Einstein is a physicist, and he will say, one of his most famous quotations that I like, and listen to me carefully because it's a one-liner. Einstein said, reality is an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. Did you hear what a physicist, he's not a spiritual leader, he's a physicist. He's telling you that your whole of reality is an illusion. What are you doing? Get rid of it. Don't hang on to this reality, it's not required. So do only as much as your body requires, do only as much as your mind requires. There is no need to do 3 jobs. You can do 10 jobs if you want, but do them when the sun rises and finish them when the sun sets. And if you're doing anything more than that, then you're going beyond your body's temple's requirements and why God put you on this planet. You know, you have other things to do on this planet besides 3 businesses. That's the only thing I can think of. I can do all 3 businesses during my daytime because I give enough rest to my body and my mind. I give enough rest to my soul to meditate. I can do it all. But if you don't do that, what happens is your energy gets depleted, your body gets depleted. Why are you doing that? It's not required. Very nice, Hiranti. Somebody's put you on the screen, so I will promptly take a screenshot. How cool is that? Yeah, it's not required. So I won't answer your question because I think it's the wrong road to take. It's not required. I'm working all the time. But hey, the minute my body and my mind begins to behave, I'm saying, okay, I don't want it. I gotta go.
I think actually, yes, I think
Pooja.
because actually, if you talk about Dr. Thilini, she has been very supportive to many women in Sri Lanka now, and she is one of those upcoming business ladies. So, you know, that is her, now that is the energy she has. And I think we have to applaud her because at the age of very young age, she's having 3 companies, she's running, we know her husband is also a doctor. So she's juggling a lot of things. So I think we have to applaud to her for her. And I think Dr. Gayatrika is also there. Gayatrika, she's another new businesswoman. She had been working, she took this strong, I think over the 360 change in life at a time like this. She also started Dr. Gayatrika.
So Hiranti, I want to stop you for a minute because I think our messaging must be correct, all right? We want to applaud women who work hard, but we want to be very sure that women do not deplete themselves. Women don't burn out. I think one of the biggest problems we have right now is what we call a problem of mental health. And women are downshifting their careers. And I don't want women to get involved with mental health issues, which is why I will applaud her, but I will caution her about mental health. All right. I don't want her to burn out.
Thanks. Anyone else?
Thanks. Thank you, Poonam. Anyone else? Because I have 2 or 3 questions to throw out. Anyone else?
You can ask.
Yes. Poonam, now most of us think, now you said perception is reality in branding, but maybe it's a myth or I don't know. Most of us think that we have to look good for us to be a good brand, a good woman brand. What do you think about it?
There's nothing to think. Suppose you get a gift from somebody. If the packaging does not look okay, will you open it? You'll probably just leave it in the corner. All right. After 2 days, you'll open it. You'll open the gift that is looking nice. It's human instinct. It's just human instinct that if you're looking good, the package is looking good, you'll open that package first. I mean, you know, there's nothing, this is human instinct. Even if I get something that has got a red ribbon, I'll open the red ribbon first. The other one, which is a cardboard, oh, I'll just put it aside. I'll open it tomorrow. Nothing you can do about it. So you got to look not good. You got to look your best. Not now, anytime, all the time, anytime, anywhere. Anytime, anywhere, look your best. What's the problem? There's no problem. Just look your best.
Thank you, Poonam. And I would like to just suggest you that when we started this program today, you gave us some tips on how we should look on virtual platform and digital platform. If you could give us the same tips, I think the business women who are in this forum, it will be very helpful for them.
Yeah, I think so. So when I logged in at 4:30, I have to tell you that, you know, Hiranti was wearing a white t-shirt. I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to be very realistic. All right?
No problem. Go ahead.
Yeah, because that's the only way I can do it. I can tell them exactly what I did. Hiranti, she's giggling. Hiranti was wearing a white t-shirt and she had a white background which said something Subhagya, and I said, Hiranti, this is not going to work. Okay, you can't have a white t-shirt and a white background because they will just merge, and you know, because it's a virtual background, it's just not looking healthy. I can only see her face. And then her face did not have enough light. So I told her, pick up your laptop, don't move, just pick up your laptop and just take it around like this, like I'm moving my laptop, and I will tell you when to stop. Okay, wherever the light is best, I'll tell you to stop there. So we made her move around her laptop, and her face was completely dark. Okay, there was no light. I could not see her features. And then she put the light, and I said, okay, now stop here. Okay, her features are looking beautiful. And then I sent her the background picture on email with the bamboo, with the green bamboo. And I said, okay, you've got a white t-shirt. I'll send you something which has got green, and you put it against you and you will look so much more cheerful. So there you go. Same thing with Dulari. You know, so this is something that I did in just 5 minutes for her executive presence. Otherwise, you would have just seen white on white and just a black blob, you know, which is not going to do anything for anybody. This is a digital world. You have to get digital. Similarly with Dulari, when she logged in at 4:30 for my audio checking, I found that Dulari was wearing a background which had white and it had blue, and I read it for you. What was it? Onlookers? What did it say?
Happy bookers. It was happy bookers.
Yeah, happy bookers. And I said to her, look, the problem is that you're merging with the background, number one, and number two, your screen. All I can see you is up to here. I want to see your body language. It's not a question of what you're wearing, but could you please tilt your screen like this so that I can see more of you and I can understand your body language? And I made her tilt her computer screen so that I could see more of her. I asked her to put a background which was, you know, more colorful because her clothes are like that. And so, you know, we can see more of her. So, you know, during digital, I find people are just showing this much. That does nothing for your body language. Yeah, I show so much of myself because the way I move my hands and the way I bend forward or the way I bend backward is so important to what I'm saying. It's part of what I'm saying. And so, and the virtual background I'm using is a picture I shot myself in Uttarakhand. And I use it because I want everybody to respect nature. And, you know, because I'm wearing black, I know that it will not conflict. So I gave them tips there and then, and they did it there and then. And I wish we had done a before and after. And I think that would have been really cool, but you have a recording because I saw that the recording was going on even at 4:30. If you have a before photo and a before and an after, send that to your ladies so that they understand how within 5 minutes you can change your digital presence, both of you.
Okay, thank you, Poonam. I think that's all the questions that I have got. If there's anybody who wants to ask any questions, we can give for about 2 questions. We have time.
We do? Okay. All right. Invest in yourself. Oh, Pooja, very nice. Pooja has written a very small note here. And I think you should, those who are here should just take a screenshot of this little quotation. Take a screenshot and keep it because she's written it very nicely. Okay, just take a screenshot of the chat.
If I may show something to people. whenever I listen to you, I have these tiny little post-its on my desk around, and I keep writing these nuggets. It's still there. You're the owner of your life. So I
Yeah,
think these are the ones, everything what Poonam said. Work on your vocabulary, narration. The words are very important. I
so
think
important.
that's what it is.
I'm so
Thank
glad.
you, Poonam.
I'm so glad you remembered that, vocabulary. And I'll tell you something, the other day, there's this lady who works at the Will Forum, and she's got I think a 3 or 5-year-old daughter. I can't remember. So I was telling her, I'm trying to put her to sleep. I said, what are you doing putting her to sleep? She said, well, I'm kind of like showing her something. I said, listen, can you just read her a storybook? How nice it would be if you just took a book and read it to your little daughter while you're putting her to sleep. One of the reasons, and I'm not trying to show off, but one of the reasons why my son's vocabulary is so good is because every night, no matter whether he understood it or not, I used to read him storybooks 15 times, 16 times. But that is why his vocabulary is so good. His vocabulary is better than mine. So you have to, whatever you sow, so shall you reap. All right. So it's very important to get the right vocabulary and everything. Thank you, Pooja, for reminding me about that. The language is so important.
You used to nudge us, Poonam, that say the right words, and I think
There
that's
and then.
deeply ingrained in me.
There and then. That's just like I did to the two of them. There and then demonstrate the change. So, Pooja, I think I'm going to retire now. Maybe you should take over and start doing these mentoring sessions. What do you say?
Whatever you say, you can't retire, Poonam. You
Okay,
can't retire. We follow you.
semi-retired. I can be semi-retired. Okay. How about being semi-retired and then having people like Pooja and others who can say these quotations? I tell you, I'm so amazed when people read quotations out of my book and say them back to me, just like Pooja is saying. I think other people can do a good job. A leader's greatest joy is when somebody else can do it for you. If you did not create leaders like that, you were a complete failure. And you don't have to do many. One is enough, two is enough. One is enough, two is enough. Okay, are we finished?
Yes, thank you, Poonam. I think that's all for today. And I would just like to inform all our participants who have been with us today. Thank you so much for joining us, because this was our first program with an international leader. And we do hope to have a series of this program in November. We will have it. We will give you all the information in due course. And we hope that you all will join us to take away better things and more things where we could be a good business leaders, good women business leaders in Sri Lanka. And this is the launch with India and Sri Lanka. So thank you so much, Poonam. I think we are taking away a lot of information and a lot of educational stuff which you have taught us today about how we should brand ourselves. And branding is a very topic that I love most. That's why I have so many questions to throw when we meet. And I would like to say thank you so much once again, Poonam. And we will meet again. And
we will meet in Sri Lanka. I'm going to come to this Buddhist stupa. The one Hiranti is going to go to. I have to go there. I'm a big, Buddhist stupa person. I have to go.
Yeah, actually, we are also going on a pilgrimage next week for 3 days. So I hope one day you can come and visit with us to these places in Sri Lanka. We have lovely historical places. And so thank you, the members, the participants who joined us. We hope that you will join with us with our series where you will get more information on how to brand yourself and how to be a good business leader in Sri Lanka. Thank you. And over to you, Hiranti, if you need anything to sum up.
Okay. I think that's it. And I think when Pooja came online, I felt that I don't know whether we have in Sri Lanka, if we can have like India and Sri Lanka together, association where for women or whatever, it would be great, because we have we have from with I think what do you call European female thing they have, USA they have in Sri Lanka, but I hardly heard about Sri Lanka and India, because we are so close. Almost we wear most of your saris. So why can't we have a collaboration and start something together? And with Poonam being there, it will be great for all of us.
Okay, have fun in the Buddhist stupa tomorrow. Remember me and say many prayers for me, please. I'm
Definitely.
always greedy for a lot of blessings with the universe. Okay, bye.
Okay, thanks Poonam once again for joining. So much of information we got from tech.
Okay,
Definitely. Bye-bye.
bye. Take care, everybody.
Bye. Bye. Thank you. Stay blessed.
Thank
everyone.
you. Thank you everyone for joining.